I want to make sure that the beautiful things you're making and learning about from JTV will last for your customers as long as possible. So today, we're going to talk about floral nutrients. And the people at Pocon Kreizel have opened my eyes to so many wonderful things that are out there that help make my flowers last as long as possible. I want to show them to you because we're familiar with them, but at the same time, we need to pay attention and there's important stuff we have to know. For example, we're all used to handing out the little packets of Kreizel that go with our product. And we hand that out to our customers and we make sure that our customers are taking them home with them. The cool thing about our customers is that they're really smart. They go home and a packet like this is important to them. They read the backside and they follow the directions exactly because they know that that's going to generate a more beautiful product for them that makes it last even longer. Unfortunately, over the years, we've kind of gotten comfortable with floral nutrients and the things that we have. We used to call them floral preservatives, number one. They're not really preservatives, they're nutrients. They help feed the flower and the plant and make them last longer. Preservatives probably imply that we're suspending them in animation. That isn't really what happens. We want to make sure that we're doing the best thing possible. And you know what? It's not one specific type of flower food. We have different types of floral nutrients for different processes. For example, Kreizel has formulas 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is what the people at Euphoria use. When they cut the flower off the plant and place it into water to be delivered to you, it's a special hydrating solution that allows your flowers to firm up, for them not to have a limp neck, for them to be really strong and sturdy. It helps hydrates them so much. Number 2 is something important for them because it's something that they travel in or that your wholesaler would use. It's for processed flowers when we want to hold them for a period of time. Number 3 is the professional one. It's the one that we want to use when we're selling flowers to our consumer and the one that we want to use when they are working with their products too. It's going to make things last longer. Each one of these wonderful products comes with a self-dispensing pump, so it makes sure that it's accurate every single time. The cool part about this is all the instructions are on the back, and that's a really great thing because we need to read these instructions as importantly as anyone else does. Sometimes we just think about flower food and I talk about feeding the chickens, where you set the buckets up on the floor and you just throw in floral preservative and then you fill them up. That's called feeding the chickens. It's pretty much a waste of your time. It was an interesting study done many years ago at Ohio State University. They took a rose and they put it in the exact correct amount of floral preservative. That rose lasted 8 days. Then they took and added too much of a floral nutrient. The rose lasted for 5 days. They put in too little of a floral nutrient and the rose lasted for 4 days. Now, here's the really interesting part. They put in no floral nutrient and it lasted for 6 days. What that tells us is too much or too little of a floral nutrient is bad for our flowers. So when we feed the chickens, we're simply wasting our money and probably doing something detrimental to our products. One of the first things we want to do today is talk about my first rule: mark and measure. It's important for you to know how much water to put in your bucket and also how much floral nutrient to add. For example, this great little bucket here holds 2 quarts. That's 2 quarts of water. To give it to you a little more graphically, here's 2 quarts of water in a regular Brody vase. It's a vase that all of us would use every single day. Now, how much floral nutrient needs to go in there? Interestingly enough, they have great products like tea bags. This is tea bag for bulb. It's a specialty bulb product that's made especially for bulb flowers, tulips, iris, daffodils, things like that. One of these tea bags is exclusively for 2 quarts, so that baby could drop right in there if we wanted to. The cool part about a tea bag is the floral nutrients going inside there, and that's really fun because it's easy for us to compute, but only if we mark and measure first. So I think it's important to get a bucket like this. This is my special JTV bucket. It's one I found at the hardware store and happened to come in green, so you know I was crazy about it. But at the same time, it has inside it measurement listings. which is really easy because I can fill up to a 2-quart level or a 2-gallon level and pour it into a bucket like that, and I'll know that that's exactly 2 gallons or 8 quarts. Or I can take a vase like this and pour it into the bucket, and I'll know exactly how much water it holds. This is my key to marking and measuring. The other thing that's important is making sure that I have marking pens. Obviously, mine are orange and green, so I can mark on here that it's 2 quarts. I can also write on there to know that I was the one that approved that that was the right number. Or, if you want to, you can even make a little smiley face. Make sure that everybody stays happy and has fun. I like to use colored pencils and colored pens and colored markers because it makes everything a little more fun than just using an old black one. At the same time, when we're thinking about this process, that gallon bucket over there has 2 gallons of water in it. So I need 2 tea bags to go in that. 1 for each gallon of water. So we need to make sure that we measure correctly. You're also going to notice our tea bags in here, and you'll notice that that's working very well, just like a tea bag normally would. But actually, if I use the tea bag, it involved the design a lot, and that would be a bad thing to have this floating around inside there. So, just as an example, I want to show you why I'd use the pump. 1 pump is for 1 quart of water. I've got 2 quarts inside here. So I need 2 full pumps added to that to have it be the correct amount. Mark and measure. It's important that you do those things. That's what makes our flowers last longer. So, let's take a look at a couple other things. My 2 gallons of water, 2 tea bags, 1 for each gallon, easily goes in there. It's a great way for me to process and a great way to make it easy for somebody like our delivery person to measure out the buckets and fill them up correctly. Remember our Mythbuster episode when we talked about using cold water processing and all the fun things that we thought we knew over the years and now we've changed? This is an extension of that, making sure that we understand exactly why we use floral nutrients. One of the things that worries me so much when I see buckets is that they look like this on the inside. That's a dirty bucket. It's bad for my flowers. There's a lot of bacteria in there. It's something that's not good. I know you guys get busy. I know that it's hard, but you have to clean your buckets. Every bucket should be clean enough to eat out of because your flowers are living off that water system. So it's so important. That's why the great people at Kreizel make a professional cleaner. This professional cleaner, we're allowed to dilute, we spray in our buckets, and we scrub them out. Now, you know what? Secret tricks and fun tips always at JTV. My favorite tool to use that? The great toilet brush. It works well because I can get into every corner with that bucket. I can scrub stuff around, I can work at it, I can get those stains out of there. And the professional bucket cleaner is a really easy way for me to do that because it helps loosen stains and get rid of it and disinfect it. You know, if you're not going to do those things, your flowers aren't going to last as long as they possibly could. And it's so important. Cleanliness is next to godliness. And you know what? Happy flowers live in buckets that are clean. Happy flowers equal happy people. Also, don't forget your tools. You can use your professional bucket cleaner to help clean those tools and your knife that you're going to use. But also, the great people at Design Master make a shears cleaner too that helps for stubborn stains. So don't forget that. You've got all sorts of things available to you, but cleaning knives, cleaning shears, cleaning buckets help get you on the right track all the time. Now you're learning about floral nutrients, and that's important. You know, when I started to learn a little bit more, I wanted to know more because I could see the evidence in the products that I have. I've told you about Euphoria Roses. Euphoria Roses follows the correct chain, and that's another one of Jay's secret tips. Keep the chain. Keep the cold chain going. They've used numbers of special formulas. You simply end up using this formula so that you can stay in that chain and your flowers remain the freshest they possibly can. So you know what? What if you want to know more? Well, Kreizel does a great job. They've got easy steps to care and handling. You know what? A clean start. Use the professional 2 tea bag. That's the one that you want to use because this is the one that we use to store our floral product. Also, Kreizel Clear Professional 3. That's important as well. We use that when we make the arrangement that goes out in the vase. Also, pass out these guys to your customer and make sure you're using the right one. There's several different varieties, so make sure you choose correctly. That's the third tip from Jay. Mark and measure your buckets every time. Make sure you maintain the chain all the time in using floral nutrients. And finally, choose correctly so that you're selecting the appropriate nutrient for the job that you need to do. You know, you might even want to become a professor or learn more and get a certificate that goes along with floral nutrients. There's a really cool book that Pocon Kreizel puts together, what they call the Kreizel Academy. You can go to the Kreizel Academy online at KreizelAcademy.com. What you get is a wonderful test and this great book with 75 frequently asked questions that are answered by the floral nutrient experts at Kreizel. There's great things in here and all sorts of examples for you to learn more about using your floral nutrients. The great part about that is you'll know more about Kreizel and floral nutrients. And you know what? That makes it more fun. Because fun with flowers means making sure that that fun can last as long as it possibly can. I'm crazy about floral nutrients, and I want you to be too. It's floral nutrients that allow our flowers to last longer. That's the fun stuff you learn here at JTV. We have lots of fun examples, we have lots of fun information, we have lots of fun tips, and we help you become the very best floral professional you can become.